Good morning, Rabbi Isai. We're here, Motzei Tisha B'Av. It's just about a half an hour before the shir starts in, less, 25 minutes before the shir starts in Eretz Yisrael. But it's 10:45 p.m. here in America, in Chicago, 11:45 in New York. Yishkoich again to Mark. We're here, Motzei Tisha B'Av, and it's one of those shiurim that is very difficult to give for a number of reasons. It might be one of the most difficult shiurim of the year. It comes after a full 25-hour fast, and it comes with a very, very short period of time to prepare the shiur. Erev Tisha B'Av, I was here in the house right here until the last minute before Chatzos, giving 2 shiurim. And then you're not supposed to be learning, so I didn't learn. And then you come back from Chullin and everything, you can't learn. And then today is another day. So that, the headache, the food, the whole thing, and that the Olam is here. We have over 1 million of people here coming to learn. It's a testament to Daf Yomi. That's the beauty of Daf Yomi. I say this every year, and I have to say it again. Without Daf Yomi, I would not be here learning. I would be right now in my bed watching those movies that I didn't watch during the day. There's a lot of good ones. I want to talk about 1 or 2 of them later. And I don't know many people that go learn Motzei Tisha B'Av. I don't. I do know a lot of Daf Yomi Yidden that go learn. It's rare, but they go learn because the consistency of Daf Yomi is what makes Daf Yomi program the number 1 program out there. The point that we learn Torah, whether it's hard and not hard, some days are much harder than others, and it doesn't matter. We're there every single day, 365. I want to welcome a chashve guest, the son-in-law of our Balabayit over here. Shalom, what's your name again? Morty, hold on. I don't know if you're going to fit into this camera. You got to go this way a little bit. More, Morty. Kimat, your head. Oh, Shalom Aleichem, Morty. So I know tonight is your first night. It's a crazy time to start. You might have started before this, that, but now you're going to get back into the Bezer Hashem. Your father-in-law told me that your job is on the line. If you drop out, you could count of looking for another job. And that's going to be your job we're going to, just like the Shidduch app, we're going to make a job app. Don't worry, we'll find the job real quickly. You better stick to it. But you're going to want to stick to it because it's addictive and it's geschmack and it's life-changing, I'm telling you. Try it out for a couple of days and you'll see what I'm talking about. Now, those who started in difficult sugyas or on a difficult day, Adarab, it just gets easier and easier and more fun. With that being said, just in the last 24 hours, 24 people bought psukim for the Sefer Torah, 55 people bought words. Marad Nakash bought the klaf, half 1 of Bereshis. Reuven Schwartz bought Parshas Noach. I guess he's sharing with somebody. And Aaron Galster, Parshas Vayikra, sharing with somebody. Yeshukayach, this Glamitzis. That's your son? No way. Here, hold on. We got the father here. He bought it for you. Wow. Was he here? He was not the one that was shared. Wow. Kol kavod. Okay. Thank you. Shkoyach. He bought it for me also, like a tziruf, for me and you. Givaldik. Because officially it's my Sefer Torah, but it turned out to be like a fundraiser. It's amazing. No, Be'emes. It's a lot of people donated, and it's great. 2 people in the same day, including the Balabasser in the house, asked me the same question. So I guess I have to address it at one point or another. He goes, why in the world does MDY need money? You have so much money. So much money comes in. It's a great question, and I understand why people ask the question. But the answer is that our budget is over $3 million. So no matter what, even if we made $4 million, our budget would be 4.5. That's how things go. It just more and more salaries. We just added another full-time salary as another illustrator for our new Gemara, for instance. Just another expense. Another $100,000. Another, it keeps on going. It builds up. What's great, I'll just say al regel achas. The top people in the shir, like Mark Ashkenazi, myself, and Yossi Klein, we don't get a salary. We don't get a dime. The opposite. We put money in constantly. Yossi Klein won't even take a ticket, a plane ticket, when he comes to Eretz Yisrael, just for MDY, he won't take money for that ticket. Basically, his own, he spends over $100,000 a year donations to MDY. So the money goes directly into the cause, and it's basically to get people to learn Torah. And I say this to everybody, and I'm going to say it again. I challenge anybody to come up with a different tzedakah that has a better return on investment. For $50, you could change a person's life. There's other beautiful tzedakahs, but not for $50. You can't make a dent for $50. You're gonna this, that. What was it? Oh yeah, the tzedakahs, they were collecting money today for people that can't afford. Okay, so but you have to give them $3,000-$5,000 here and there just to get out of a certain situation. That's $5,000 over here, $50. Okay, anyway, weiter. That was just to address the two complaints that I got the other day. Here's more. Sefer Torah gives sponsor with specific psukim. Ted Fishman, Parshas Hamon. Hine Mabdel Lechem Lechem Ben Hashomayim, Avram Michlowitz. Hine Yenoich Shalech Malach Ben Odesh Morcha B'derech Leviachal Amokam Asher Achinoisi. Joseph Rubenstein, B'Shor B'nei Sosa Shabbos, Last Shabbos Derosim B'Zoylom, Shmuel Aviva Schuster, Yivarechacha Hashem, Yishmerecha, Yishkoyach Shmuel. I got to show you this. This was very touching because this kid is in Camp Simcha. He's the same kid who the other day was on the golf cart screaming, "Good morning, Rabbi Isai." Meyer Fischel. This is mind-boggling. This guy, every time I go to Meyer's house, I've been there a number of times, there's always a Shabbos, a Shabbaton for Yisoimim, for Almanas, and Camp Simcha. He's on Tisha B'Av, he's in Camp Simcha. You hear what's going on here? On Tisha B'Av, he's in Camp Simcha, and he meets this kid an hour before the fast ends. Here goes. Let me just make it loud as I can. Okay.
Tisha B'Av, 7:25, an hour and a half before the fast is over, and I came to Camp Simcha. I bump into Tzvi Blau. And what does Tzvi Blau tell me? He's upset. He can't learn MDY. He can't learn the daf today with her belly. I said, don't worry. At night he's going to learn it. Tzvi, how long you learning the daf with MDY?
A year.
And? Do you like it?
I love it.
Is it more geschmack than when you learn in yeshiva?
100%.
Okay, we won't ask anyone what yeshiva you go to, because I don't want you to get thrown out of yeshiva. But what's your message for Rebellion and for MDY?
Also, keep up doing it. Get more Yidden to learn Torah every single day.
Now, did you get anybody here in Camp Simcha to learn daf?
Yes.
You really got somebody here?
Yeah.
No way. How old is that person?
18.
Wow. In Camp Simcha, look at that. This is what's going to bring to my Samigdash.
Listen carefully what he says.
I had to be mine.
Oh,
A
my.
high to be mine. He should have a refuah shlema. The treatments, whatever he's going through, should go well. And it's a big chizuk. He's a kid. He's doing the daf every day. Unbelievable. This is what we do as MDYers on Motzei Tisha B'Av, this Tom's River, satellite location. We should buy it as they already... a machine that hatches eggs. Look at that. The Olam is learning Torah on Motzei Tisha B'Av. It's unbelievable. And they put the eggs in, and out came little chicks, and then came a little bomb, a little missile from Syria. That's what I'm saying, that mice over there. It honestly meant a lot to us. We're really trying to build something strong as MDY kids here in Manchester, and it's not always easy, especially when it comes to waking up early and pushing ourselves to do something meaningful. Most boys would rather stay in bed. The kids are Manchester MDY kids. Check this out. They get up early in the morning, they do the daf, they all have this merch stuff, MDY things, I don't know what. The rebellion when we got in Chullin, I was not worried about understanding the material because I knew I would get through the difficult topics of Travis thanks to the AI, illustrations, and clear explanations. But now I realize that I'm not merely getting through the material. It has actually become exceptionally enjoyable and uniquely geschmack. I want to thank you and the entire team for all the hard work and tremendous effort. Go in this strength of yours and save Israel. What is this? Lech b'koich chazu v'yishatis Yisrael. Best which is Nachman Levi Yerushalayim. Okay, fine. I think we did enough today. Another kid, dear Belly, I want to let you know I'm doing great. You've helped me a lot. I feel the MDY is one big family. I'm 11 years old, and so far I've learned 360 dapim, a whole year. I'm still doing it every day. Thank you, Rebelli. You changed my life. I love when an 11-year-old says, you changed my life. I just want to say, Shekayach, thank you, Rebelli, Yisrael David. And finally, this kid over here, our son, Ravi Levine, this is an email. It's a month old. I just found it today because I had time. on Tisha B'Av to go through some emails. Zahar received the Keter Shem Tov Award from Halb, school. At his 8th grade graduation, Rafi, who has been doing Daf Yomi consistently for over a year now, added a small shout out to you in a speech. We'd love to share it with you. Please enjoy Shaya and Kayla Levin. Wow, he's doing the Daf for over a year. Check this out.
As we think about the future, I'm reminded of a beautiful idea from Rav Eli Stefansky. During his shir, he always reminds people it's not about the Daf, it's about the Yomi. Think about how profound that is. A Daf is just a page of Gemara in front of you. It changes every day. Sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's incredibly complicated. But the Yomi, that's a daily commitment and consistency. It shows
8th
up
grade.
every day, even when you're tired, even when it's hard. High school is going to bring a lot of new dafs, new tests, new faces, and new pressures. There may sometimes be days that...
Okay, I want to get over. Start the shir. Rabbi Yisai, the official edition of MDY Shas, Masechet by Zevin Yal Shulov, Perek, Reuven Harrison, with much gratitude to Rebelli and the whole MDY team. Daf Pehei. Chaim Milrad, L'schus Avimor Yosef Avram Nisan Al Vimi Merosi Frad Aletel. David Salomon dedicated in memory of Avimor Reb Shmuel Baruch Ben Reb Chaim Tzvi Dov Zechron Livracha. By the way, it's possible that next time you see me, I'll look a little different. So don't. If this is your first day here, it's not a different Maggid Shir. 10 years older, yes, but it's the same guy. Reb Shmuel Baruch Ben Reb Chaim Tzvi Dov Zechron Livracha. The Positive Foundation. I don't know if I'll have time before tomorrow's shir. What time is tomorrow's shir? Shmuel? Like 2:00 maybe? Does that work? May our early during Ben Azman and bring us closer to you. Make Gula v'Simcha. Oh, now we changed it to Ben Azman. It's not the 9 days anymore. Anonymous. Thank you to Chief Benny. Shmuel and Uwe Schuster. Yishkoyach. Didn't they also did a pasuk over there. For continued atzlocha and nachas from our children. Anonymous for a complete refuah. Shneim and Arich Yom Talea Bas Esther. Chaim and Leah Levi in honor of the MDY family. Anonymous for my birthday and as a schuz for that slocha, my family Brooklyn Begashmi. These are all monthly sponsors. Ari Simon for Shnema Avi Mari Baruch Miriam. The Tzvi's refer Shnema to Rivka Naomi Basel Shem Batia, the monthly MDY firefighters. Lina was our unforgettable chief Chaim Gabriel Ben Ari Yel Jacobson Zerchan Livracha. Weekly sponsors, the Spanish year sponsor, a bigger refer Shnema to a close friend Naftali Harris Ben Chaya Pesia. What's this? Daily sponsors. I don't know what that is. What does this mean? Don't know. Anyway, Kid Sponsors Week. Innovations LC has a schus vakiva Simcha Ben Pega. Rivki Yehudis Bas Yafa Chaya, and our kids to MDY Art, the month, L'Rfuah Shnema Mordechai Ben Esther, L'Rfuah Ayelet, Daniel Zev, Ben Ayelet Esther. Rabbi Yisai, we're holding on the bottom, or actually, we might even be on the top of Pehei Omid Aleph. It doesn't matter. One of the shiurim, I don't remember which one. It was the Hebrew, the English. What? Where did we get to? Okay. So smack in the middle of Peidal and Amon Beis, we're just going to go back a little bit of Chazar about Peh. Ravena almost lost his tongue, physically, metaphorically. It's not. Basically, what he said is that if you have the right to shecht a koi, a kvi, which is half chaya, half behema, and we know that a chaya, you have to cover its blood, a behema not. So now you have an animal that's 50-50, or it might be a min b'fnei atzmai, whatever, but let's call it a half deer, half goat. If you're chayiv, let's say the shechted on Shabbos, you have a sick person in the house, you have to shecht it. Comes Ravena and says you have to cover its blood. Gemara says, ooh, I should take his tongue out, or I should get rid of his meturgamon. And the Gemara brings Rav Yosi. Rav Yosi says the exact opposite, and that's why he doesn't deserve to have a tongue. He says that there's a kavach chaymer, that if a person performs a bris milah on Shabbos, he has to perform a bris milah on Shabbos. That pushes off Shabbos, obviously. But if you have a suffix on a bris milah, you don't know exactly when the baby was born, and it's right before Yom Tov, the baby was born a week before Yom Tov, you're not sure if it was born 8 days or 7 days before Yom Tov, you don't push off Yom Tov for that bris milah. So certainly when it comes to Kisi Adam, that when you have a certain case of shchita on Shabbos, you don't do kisei adam. So certainly you shouldn't do kisei adam when you have a suffix on Yontif. Akoparim, you see from Rabbi Yossi straight out that a vadai, if you have to shech this koi on Shabbos, you don't cover the blood. And then the Gemara brings a raya from shofar. So we can go back like 5 lines from the bottom. When you blow the shofar outside the Beis Hamikdash, I'll prove it to you. She'ein vada doicha Shabbos. You don't blow shofar on Shabbos. I believe this year, Rosh Hashanah is going to be on Shabbos. And they say that a lot of bad things happen in Klal Yisrael when Rosh Hashanah fell out on Shabbos, when you don't have the shofar, including October 7th. It could go both ways. It could be an exceptionally great year or a bad year. So we got to make sure that this year is different.
Next week.
Okay, because they say that it's either the shofar is what gives us the protection, or the Shabbos is what gives us protection. And if we're not so careful with the Shabbos, then it could be an issue. Anyway, so he says when you do shofar and you have to blow a shofar, you don't blow it on Shabbos. But if you have a suffix, you do it on Yontif. What in the world is a suffix when it comes to shofar on Yontif? So the Gemara says, "My sveika, what are you talking about?" Elam is suffix chal, suffix Yontif. If you're not sure if it's a weekday or Yontif, that makes no sense. Because if you know for sure that it's Yontif today, you blow the shofar. So if you think that maybe it's a regular Sunday, you shouldn't blow the shofar. I mean, if it's Yontif, you're allowed to blow it. And if it's not Yontif, then you could also blow. What's the problem? Okay, so now we're on Daf Yomi Aleph. Ella suffix ish, suffix isha. We're talking about a situation where it's a suffix if this person is a man or a woman, like a tumtum. It's a Maisa Shahaya. A guy is sitting at a chasana, and he turns to the person next to him and he says, it's crazy how ugly the chassan is. I'm so surprised that the Kala agreed to marry him. So the person says, excuse me, that's my daughter. That's not the chassan. He says, Oy, I'm so sorry, I apologize. I didn't realize that you're the father. He says, I'm not the father, I'm the mother. So sometimes you have a suffix man, suffix woman. Over here, it's a double whammy. It's the chassan, it's the kala, it's the father, it's the mother. Okay, anyway. Huh?
To say it state today.
Yeah. I don't want to get into that part. But this is for the joke. It's okay. This is a Maisa Shahaya, where a guy's on a plane and he's looking around for a minion for Shachris. So he sees somebody with the talis shuckling away, tap on the shoulder, excuse me, could you start to the minion? The person goes like this, he's okay, no. He sees that she's wearing like it was a woman just with the talis davening in the plane. Anyway, fine. So sometimes you don't know if it's a man or a woman. And I heard mices like that about the Chabadskis, they put on tefillin. So once in a while, they'll put on tefillin. The person will say, I haven't put on tefillin since my bas mitzvah, or whatever. They realize afterwards that it's akol panim, suffix ish, suffix isha. So you have so what do you do? On to Rosh Hashanah, if you don't know if the person is a woman or a man, it's a tumtum, androgynous, you're permitted to blow the shofar for them. Why? It's very obvious. Rabbi Yossi because there's a machlokes. Rabbi Yossi holds Zomer Isha Vadais Nami Taka. If you know for certain that this is a woman, you're allowed to blow a shofar for her. We take it for granted. People blow shofar for women all the time. You take your shofar, blow. But it's a machlokes if you're allowed to do that. Rabbi Yossi holds you're allowed to. This time Bnei Yisrael Soimchem v'lo Bnei Yisrael Soimchos. And Memelo what? Before we go into smicha for a second, but because you're supposed to blow a shofar for a woman, and you're supposed to blow a shofar for a man. So now if you have a person that's in between, you don't know what they are. So regardless, you blow the shofar for them. If it's a man, you're supposed to blow, and if it's a woman, you're supposed to blow. What's smicha? Here, this is smicha. Smicha means that every time you bring a carbon, you lean with all your body weight on the carbon's head. But a woman doesn't do so. We even have a woman, I think. Here we go. That's a man doing it.
I am like so not getting my hands dirty doing the semicha.
You can't do semicha with a chatzitza. And women don't do semicha anyway.
Okay. Why does everybody in the room understand this one? Not my wife, yeah. Zok the Gemara. But anyways, you see what's going on here? You hear what's going on? We have every 5 minutes another musig in Torah. What smicha is, what this. A lot of people, before they do it, have no idea. Smicha, they have no idea. You tell them smicha. Every 5 minutes, something else. Now we learned that it's not so pasha to do tkiyah shofar for a woman. Machlokes. So now here, the Gemara is going to address the other side. But anyways, it says like this: the sign Bnei Yisrael soimchim, 3 lines from the top. But Yisrael soimchim v'loy Bnei Yisrael soimchos. It's only men that do smicha. Rabbi Yosef, Rabbi Shimon, Omer Nashim soimchos. Rishus. If a woman feels like she wants to do it, she could do it. Omer Avina. Well, the camera Rabbanon Nami. And according to Rabbanon, they say that women should not blow a shofar, but a tumtum, a suffix should. Islay pircha. There's also a good argument here. Malat ki shofar shekem v'ada doicha Shabbos b'migdash. You know what? When it comes to shofar, you push off shofar, you do it in the Beis HaMikdash on Shabbos. There are people that claim, there's a svarim written about it, that today they should blow the shofar on Shabbos by the kaisel. And he makes very good arguments. I don't think we do it. But I forgot who it is. He said a lot of good arguments. You should blow shofar, you should shake a lulav and esrog on Shabbos by the kaisel. And I think like more of the mainstream, I'm not talking about a Zionist sefer. I'm talking about a Haredi kind of person writing a sefer about this. Malat kis shofar shekein v'ada doicha Shabbos b'migdash. Tomer bekisui de lesiklau. I can make an argument that when it comes to shofar in the Beis HaMikdash, we blow also on Shabbos, whereas in Kisei Adam you never do it on Shabbos. And then when the Gemara brought it yesterday, we're just repeating. Hesher v'lozo hakaper beribi on the kavachomer of Rabbi Yossi. Rabbi Yossi made a whole kavachomer about bris milah that if it's a certain bris milah, it pushes off Shabbos, but a suffix bris milah doesn't push off Yontif. So too, when it comes to Kisei Adam, since the certain shchita on Shabbos, you don't do Kisei Adam. So too, when you have a suffix, certainly you shouldn't do Kisei Adam. So the Gemara says, and Lozar Kabra had a great answer. You don't have Mila on the Yontif night. So the Gemara asks, wait a minute. It seems like every night of the year you could do bris milah. It says Meforsh in the pasuk here. You only do bris milah during the day, not at night. So you're right. Milah does not happen during the night at all. That's Rav Elazar Akapar's argument that in a way Milah is weaker than Kisui Adam. You had a kavachomer from Milah to Kisui Adam? No. Kisui Adam is stronger. Why? Because you do Kisui, you cover the blood even at night. Whereas Milah, you never do it at night. And the Gemara says, these are one of the things that Reb Chia said, I don't have a good answer. Elazar Kaber did have a good answer, although Reb Chia doesn't really agree to that answer. So Rabbi Isai, one of the things that I felt really bad today on Tisha B'Av, I should have been feeling bad about one thing only, about the Beis HaMikdash. But I felt bad because I really planned on telling the Olam before Tisha B'Av about Yoel Gold's video. Now, he didn't contact me, he didn't ask me to promote it. Had he done it, I probably would have written it down. But in my mind, I said, I have to speak about it. Why? Hakar Satayv. What happened was, and I'm going to say this Smaisa again, it's in his video. He came to the Shabbaton and he speaks beautifully. He spoke beautifully the year before, and we said, we want him again. Just like, the other speakers. So he comes, he spoke, he outdid himself beautifully, blah, blah, blah. A lot of times the concern is, does this person have what to say again? Maybe he's a one-time thing. No. A good speaker knows how to fight. But what happened was he made me and most of the people cry on Shabbos. You were there, Shmulik? He gets up there and says a whole story about how they found Ketairos. And this is the video. So what I'm trying to say is watch the video. If you didn't watch the video, it's called Holy Smokes. And it's still available, I believe. Not only on Tisha B'Av. So, but Akar Satayv Tem, it's the whole, I'm like, can't believe I didn't tell the Olam. If you're watching a video, they should watch this video. Al Regal Achas, what happened was, he gets up there, says over the whole video, which is this video, how they found the Ketairos and that, the whole thing. And all of a sudden, he pulls out a vial of this Ketairos. And he says, this is all he had. And the first thing that enters my mind is like, wow, if I had that, I could show it. Every time I say the word Ketairos, I could open it up and show the oil, Ketairos. And the next sentence that he says is, somebody offered me $250,000 or whatever it is. And I said, no, this is Ketairos. I'm not selling this for $250,000. It's like, oh, shoot. Okay, that's it, done. So that's the end of that prop. We'll try to get other props. And he keeps on going. And all of a sudden he goes, but I want to gift this to Rebelli. Because Rebelli represents Klal Yisrael. It's not an individual. And I just started bawling. Like, wow. So that's why you should watch Holy Smokes. It's kedai to watch. And my son, Luzzy, we had a whole shiloh afterwards. Like, did he really only have one? Did he this? Maybe he gave other people a gift. Yeah, different, legitimate questions. But my son, Luzzy, who I'll talk at a different time, whatever, he's a big Balkishan, and he brought me rayas from the video. He only had one, and he never gave anyone. And he even writes, Yol Gold says one of the things that he sent out, he says, I gave it to Rebelli. Like he says, he gave it only to one person. That's to me, anyway. So Yishkoyach, if you ever watch the video, you'll know with the Ketairos, and I have it in my house in the safe. It's in a safe. I'm not joking, because everybody that comes wants to touch it and smell it. I never opened it up yet, but they all want to. The guy, basically, they found this thing. I can't say the whole. I don't want to give away the whole video, but they tested it and it has the same 15 ingredients that's brought down that we say in Ketairos. Same 15, not more, not less. Anyway, holy smokes. Zok De'elegi Mishnah. HaShoichet v'nimtzis treifa. And no, he did not ask me. I'm upset at him for not contacting me a week before, 2 weeks, the day before, something. Say, hey, remember me? Garnished. And on my own, I said, I got to say it, but for whatever reason, I forgot. HaShoichet v'nimtzis treifa. We're talking about Kisui Adam. See, top of the page. What's the name of the parak? Kisui Adam. That is, we have a chiyuv to cover blood after shechita of a chaya and of a bird and not of a behema. So what happens? You shechta an animal and you find out that it's a treifa. So it's a great question, right? It's a treifa. Does it require kisei adam? You can't eat it. So why do you have to cover its blood? Or another case where you can't eat it because you shechted it for avodah zarah. If you take a regular mundane animal and you bring it inside the Beis Hamikdash, it's a big isser. If you bring it inside, you get a yoiver naseh. If you bring a carbon and you shecht it outside in Chicago, you are chayev kares. Chayev va'oif haneskalim. Let's say a bird or a chaya that killed a human being. And you have to be cycle them. Remeir mechayev. Remeir says yechayev on kisadam. Why? Because Remeir is going to hold that shchita she'ena ru'uya shma shchita. That's a machlokes that we already discussed a number of times, and that was in the last Mishnah of Oises Benoi, which the Gemara is going to bring down now. Whether a shchita that doesn't allow you to eat is considered a shchita. Let's say you shecht an animal for avodah zarah, you can't eat the meat. Is that considered a shchita? If it is considered a shchita, then the blood requires kisui. You have to cover it. If it's not considered a shchita, then it's garbage. So you don't have to do kisui. The chachamim poitrim. Rabbi said, if anybody paid attention to the other sugya, who's chachamim? Who says that shchita she'ena ruya lo yishma shchita? Huh? Who? Very good. Everybody agrees?
You agree?
It's not me. Yeah, let's turn around the camera. Hi, Alf. He was at my chasana. My chasana. Anybody else here was at my chasana? So anyway, he says it's Reb Shimon. So why is his name Chachamim here? Reb Shimon Bar Yochai. Why all of a sudden is it Chachamim? Because that's how Rebbe, the author of the Mishnah, paskins. Instead of saying Reshbi, which you'll say, okay, so it's a nice machlek between Reb Meir and Reb Shimon Bar Yochai. No. The Chachamim Paitrim. Reb Shimon Bar Yochai holds that if the shechita is not a good shechita, you cannot eat, then you don't have to do kisei adam. It says in the pasuk, Asher yachal.
Can you still eat it if you don't do kisei adam?
For what do you eat? Yes, it's not ma'akiv. Yeah, it's a ma'akiv. Yeah, but over here you're talking about avodah zarah. You're talking about a skila. You're talking about it's a treifa. You can't eat it anyway. That's the whole point. Because you can't eat it, so it's a shechita that didn't allow you to eat it. It didn't do it. It didn't accomplish. If it doesn't accomplish, why do you have to cover it? If you did a shechita and it was a bad shechita, whatever you did wrong. You did a terrible job in the shechita. One of the issues that causes a shechita not to be good. Let's say you did shihiyah. You paused in between the two simanim, and here the Mishnah gives us hanoicher. Here, this is nechira right over here. It's shechting it the wrong way. It's not called shechita. It's called nechira. So. If you pull the simanim out, it's not a good shechita. So then if it's not a good shechita, you don't have to cover the blood. Says the Gemara, says Rabbi Yochanan, Ra Rebbe Dvarav Sheremeir Ba'osev es Benoi. So we have a machlokes here. Let me just show you. All this I had to do myself. Matzei Tisha B'Av. Remeir Reb Shimon. Remeir holds shechita she'eina ru'ya, a shechita that doesn't accomplish anything, is green. It's a good shechita. Reb Shimon holds shechita she'eina ru'ya, the same thing, it's red, no good. So Rebbe, when it comes to kisei adam, that's our sugya, he holds like Reb Shimon. The shechita she'eina ru'ya, lo yishma shechita, not a good shechita, therefore, no kisei adam, you don't need kisei adam. How do I know that he holds like Reb Shimon? Because he calls him chachamim. He paskins like him. He says chachamim maimrim. Yet in the Mishnah beforehand, the Mishnah that we were discussing the last few days, the Mishnah of Oisev es Benoi, there's an Isser. You hear? Another Yisoid in one day. You're not allowed, tell me if you knew this before, you're not allowed to shecht a mother cow, a mother sheep, and its offspring on the same day. You knew about this halacha? It's a pasuk, but it's okay, yeah, not a lot of people know, I'm serious. It's not a big deal. There's a lot of psukim that people don't know. Tmura, nobody knows. Okay, so Oisev es Benoi, that's another mission that we learned. You're not allowed to shecht the mother and its calf in the same day. And over there, what if you find out that one of them is a treifa? The only isser is to shecht two of them. But if you shoot one of them and shecht the second one, that's not asr. If one of them is treif and the other one is not, so over there, we don't pass. We pass like Reb Meir. That's shechita she'eina ruya, shma shechita. It's considered a shechita even though it's treif. So Rebbe, look at this. Rebbe, you see this on the screen over here? Rebbe paskins by Oisev es Benoi, he paskins like Reb Meir on top right. And by Kisei Adam, in our Mishnah, he paskins like Reb Shimon. Okay? The Gemara goes on to explain why. Why is he paskin over here like this and over there like that? We can keep this on the screen for another minute or two. Omar Rebbe He said it in the name of Chachamim, Remeir Shita, or the Reb Shimon. In our Mishnah, he holds like Reb Shimon, and he says Chachamim. He doesn't mention Reb Shimon by name. He calls him Chachamim. My time at the Remeir by Oisev es Benoi. Why does he pass like Remeir by Oisev es Benoi? They now shech the mother and her son in the same day. It's considered a shechita, even though it's not available to eat. Here's the two psukim. This is called Gzer Shava. When you have two psukim that say the same exact word, Yishchat, the same lashon. So by Oisev es Benoi, the top pasuk of Shor says Oisev es Benoi lo'yishchatu b'yimechad, and also it says Ishish Yishchad she'yishchat or she'yisham michutz lamachne. That's talking about shchita shchutei chutz. That's taking a carbon and shechting it outside of the Hamikdash. It says the word shchita. Ma hasa shchita she'eina ruya shma shchita. By shchita schutz, By you shechting it outside of the Beis Hamikdash, what happens? You're not allowed to eat the meat. It becomes asur b'hana. But even though it's asur b'hana, it's called a shechita. You shechted it. That's why you get kares. If it wasn't a shechita, if you killed it outside of the Beis Hamikdash, you wouldn't get kares. It's because you shechted it outside of the Beis Hamikdash. That means it's a good shechita, even though it's not edible. It's a good raya like Reb Meir that doesn't have to be edible. Reb Shimon my timer. So what does Reb Shimon do? How come he holds that by Yosef's Benai it's not considered a good shechita? He has a completely different limud. He learns from Yosef Tzaddik. Yosef Tzaddik says, he tells the prepare a meal. Prepare a meal for my brothers. Obviously, Yosef Tzaddik shechted the animals and it was good shechita for his brothers. Afkan shechita ruya, so too by Yosef's Benai, it's a good shechita. I'll pause here just for a second because I have an update and I want to keep on pushing this. So Mati Belsky just less than a week ago came up with this. Well, he came up with the idea maybe a week ago, and he gave it to my son Lazi. My son Lazi is very good at this stuff. He said he wants to do a shidduch website app where people put in their resumes and the AI figures out who's a good match, and when they find a good match through AI, they send it to Shadchan. In less than, I don't know, say 4 or 5 days since they launched, 160 people put in their resumes. They got already 500 like different things, but there's one shidduch already that's ready to go. They're going out. And we convinced Mati Belsky that the first shidduch that gets married, he's gonna give $10,000 to the chassan and kala as a gift, like maybe for the chassan or as a gift, whatever. So here it is. It just shows you how it's done. Upload a resume. It's very simple. It's like it's not like a website that they worked on for months. It was like done within a few days. He wanted it on the first day. He said just went to Claude or whatever. Cloud. How do you call it? Claude. I said no. You got to make it a little nicer. Send it to my son. Let him fix it up. So Lazi fixed it up for him, and let's see. People keep on. And this is just the beginning. 160 resumes in a few days. Okay, so maybe this first shidduch will get married. They'll get the 10,000.
What's the website for people?
It's MDY Daf. That's our website. MDY Daf /shidduch. MDYDaf.com /shidduch. Mark right now is uploading resumes as we're speaking. Baruch Hashem. I love you, Mark. Gewaldig. It's not a joke. It's like I was nervous that who's the first person that's going to put the resume, okay? And like day 1, 10, 50, 60, 80. Right now, in the early Tisha B'Av, it was 160 plus resumes. So I don't know. There's not the more. You could upload for other people. I think you could upload for other people. Fine. Mark, upload for other people. Zog the Gemara. Oh. Now we just need to understand how come Reb Meir doesn't hold like Reb Shimon doesn't hold like Reb Meir. Classic Gemara. Reb Meir nami ligmar mit tavayach. I don't understand how come Reb Meir doesn't learn from Yosef Tzaddik tavayach tavach that over there it was a good shchita. It makes a lot more sense. Look at this pasuk right over here. The two words are identical, or at least the same shirish. Tishchatu yishchat. It's about shchita. Reb Meir is learning from. Reb Shimon is learning from the word tavayach, which also means shchita, but it's a different way of writing it. Tavayach, shchita, two different words. So then, what's the Gemara going to ask? The classic of all Shas. This sugi is brought down. I don't know how many times. At least 10 times. I see on the side here, it brings 10 times. But I think it's even more. Because this half of the sugya is not the whole sugya. This is one of the most popular sugyas in Shas, I want to say. The what? The Gemara always asks, and it's almost always the same answer. Once in a while, the answer is not. It doesn't give the full thing. The Gemara says, wait a minute. Even when you have two different words, but they mean the same thing, you could still learn Gzeir Shava. How do I know this? My nafkamina, what's the difference? Hatar the Rishmal says, V'shava koin, uba koin, zu yeshiva, zu yibia. And then we have a famous video for that. I actually just showed it the other day, but we'll show it again. Why not? Because we have a guest here. He's not a guest. He's a regular already. This is Avrami Cohen, our tech guy, our main tech guy. He happens to be a Kohen, Avrami Cohen. V'shav HaKohen. You see, it says V'shav HaKohen. The word V'shav, to return, and the word Uba mean the same exact thing. And therefore, when he comes back after a week and checks the nega on the wall, even if it didn't grow, you have to knock it. You have to take out all the cake. You have to take everything out of the house, and you break it. The whole procedure. The point of the Gemara is that the word V'shav and the word Uba mean the same thing, and therefore I could use Gzeir Shav. I learn one from the other. Uba kind. A week later, Uba kind. You hear the echo in the room because there's no furniture. I just noticed that now. Okay, Gishmak. So over here also, the word tvicha, the word shchita mean the same thing. So learn Gzeir Shava. What's the answer that the Gemara always gives? It's an obvious answer. You're right. Tvicha and shchita mean the same thing, and you can learn one from the other. But that's if you have no better choice. If the only two words are tvicha and shchita, but by us we have a better choice. We have shchita and shchita, which will teach us the opposite result, which will teach us that it's not a good shchita. If you learn it from tvicha, by Yosef, it was a good shchita. But by shchut chutz, it's not. Akopanim, fine. So let's do the classic over here. V'shav HaKohen Uba HaKohen. Zu Yeshiva, like 3 lines from where we came wide. Zu Yeshiva, Zu Yibiyah. So the Gemara Hanimi, like the Damilay. That's great. 2 words that mean the same thing. You can learn one from the other if you have nothing better. But over here, since we have this pasuk, this loisishchatu, the Gzeir Shav of shchita shchita, is much better for us because it's identical words. Over there also, if there was 2 psukim that said the word uba, you're going to learn uba from uba. But because I don't have 2 ubas, I have ushav, uba, so then you put them together. Great. Now we do Reb Shimon. How come he doesn't learn from shchut chutz, shchita shchita? That what? They see shma shchita. Just like by shchut chutz, it's considered shchita, so too by kisui. You want to learn Oisez Benai from Yosef at Tzadik, Chullin from Chullin, Vein Danum Chullin Mikachim. You don't want to learn Chullin from Karbanas. Meir, Otto Oisez Benai Mikachim Milayinahai. What do you mean? Oisez Benai is also by Karbanas, we said. So that's what the Gemara says. It's a good kasha. Hanu the Kamer Reb Chia. That's why Reb Chia said, Rabbi Dvar Shor Meir, Oisez Benai, Ushnai B'Lashon Chacham. And now we're going back to this chart. That's why Rebbe chose Reb Meir when it comes to Oisez Benai because of this question. It was a great question. Now, my time of the Reb Meir B'Kisei Adam. How come he says by Kisei Adam that it's considered a shchita, and if it's considered a shchita, you have to do Kisei Adam when you have a treifa, or when you have a Avodah Zarah. He has another Gzeir Shava called Shvicha. Let's see, here we go. The first pasuk it says, by Kisei Adam, it says V'shafach es damai in red. V'shafach es damai. Then it says by Shchutei Chutz Dam Shafach. So in both of them it says Shafach. Shvicha. Ben Lakish Gomer Shvicha Shchutei Chutz. Malalon Shchita She'ena Ruya Shmo Shchita. By Shchutei Chutz is considered a Shchita. Avkan by Kisei Adam Shchita She'ena Ruya Shmo Shchita. Reb Shimon doesn't learn this. Asher Ya'achal Ksiv. You look in the pasuk. I put it in purple because I couldn't put it in red because the Shafach was already in red. It says Asher Ya'achal. What does Asher Ya'achal mean? The shchita has to be such a shchita that enables you to eat it right away. Reb Shimon Asher Ya'achal Ksiv. Reb Meir 4 lines from the bottom. Ahu. Why does it say Asher Ya'achal? L'modei Oiv Tami Yudasa. That if you shecht an eagle or a pelican, one of those birds, a chasida, what is it? How do you say chasida in English? A what? Stork, which is a treif bird, then you do not have to cover its blood. Reb Shimon, Oif Tamei my taima, the la barchilo, you can't eat it, so therefore you don't have to cover it. Treifenami la barchilo. So in Mela, it's a good kasha. Ask the Gemara, I don't understand. What's the point? The point is that a non-kosher bird, you can't eat it. and the treifa, you also can't eat it. So therefore it should be parted from Kisei Adam. So the Gemara, that's exactly the reason why Reb Chia liked Reb Shimon when it comes to Kisei Adam. Omer Ababa. Daf Pehei Omid Beis. Loyla call Omer Reb Meir Shchita Sheina Ruya Shmo Shchita. You should know that Reb Meir didn't just say a general rule that shchita that's not available to eat is considered a shchita. No, you should know there's a yotzim in a klal. Moider Reb Meir she'ei matirasa ba'achila. You should know that the shchita that's not a good shchita. It is considered a good shchita, but you can't eat it. Which the Gemara is going to say, of course you can't eat it. Why would I think you could eat it? And on the flip side, Reb Shimon who says that shchita sheina ruya leishma shchita, that a shchita that's not a good shchita is not considered shchita at all. It is a good shchita. Rabbi said, remember, what are the two things that a shchita accomplishes? Here's another you said. One day, I'm telling you 25 new says. What does shchita accomplish? Oh, the first thing that everybody knows is that it allows you to eat the animal, but also it accomplishes something very important. The animal that you shecht is not tummy. Every animal that drops dead has tumah, even cows and goats. But if you shecht them, no. So Mela, this Reb Shimon who says that it's not considered a good shchita, but accomplishes one thing. It accomplishes that the animal is not tummy. And now we're going to go slightly deeper into what we just said. Omar, we just learned, Remeir didn't just make a blanket statement and said that if it's not a good shchita, it is considered good. Even though it's not edible, it's considered good shchita. But you can't eat it. Pshita, treifa b'shchita mishtari. What if you have a treifa? You have a havamina that the shchita is going to allow you to eat a treifa? What's a treifa? It has a sircha in its lung. It has a hole in its heart. So you have a havamina that if you shecht it, you're allowed to eat it. Thank you. So we're going back to the sugya of Ben Pekua. Ma'amish, what was it, a week ago? Not even. Ben Pekua is when you shecht an animal and you find a baby inside, a fetus. So you don't have to shecht the baby. You could eat the baby as is without shchita. And we even paskin, minat Torah, even if the baby walks around and lives for another 5 years, you're allowed to eat it without a shchita. You take a baseball bat, kill it, and eat it. So this is on the ninth month. You found a full-term baby. Now, what's the difference, full-term or not? Because in a full term, we had a machlokes in the Mishnah where Remeir says full term, no ben pekua. Doesn't apply this halacha. It's full term. It's not part of the mother. So I would think that when it's a full term baby, but the mother is a treifa, then the shchita should work for the baby. But what's the question? Remeir doesn't hold that. Remeir holds that in the 9th month. It never works anyway. Ask the Gemara, Tizber, what havamina do you have? Remeir holds that a full-term baby needs a shchita. Why would you think that if the mother is a treifa, you wouldn't need a shchita for the baby? It makes no sense. The Rebbe Savalak Remeir, Savalak Rabbanon. I did another one of those charts. Why not? I was in the mood. I already had the chart out, so I just used it for this. Rebbe takes the halacha of Remeir, the shchita sheina ruya shmo shchita, and he also takes the halacha of Rabbanon, then a pekua that is a full-term ben pekua doesn't need a shchita. The shchita sima mitarasai. The shchita of the mother is enough. So he makes a salad. He takes a little bit of here, a little bit of there. He holds like he takes one shita from here, one shita from here. I would think that since there's a ben paku in this case, he holds like chachamim. They could check the mother, and that's good enough for the baby. So even if the mother is treif, it should work for the baby. Kamash Malon, no, it doesn't work when it's the mother's treif. Adar Global International Wire Transfer, Encore Healthcare as a schus for Klal Yisrael, mdydaf.com/shidduch. mdydaf.com/shidduch. Join today, upload a resume, and help make shidduchim happen. Yasher koyach. Oh, v'leila kol Rabbi Shimon shchita she'en ruya l'shma shchita. And the continuing what we said before, the Rabbi Shimon doesn't make a blanket statement that if it's a shchita she'en ruya, it's a shchita that you cannot eat the meat afterwards. He says it's not a shchita at all. Yet it has the ability that the animal is not tamei. Pshita, what's the chiddush? Tamar Rav Yudam Rav, Amri lo b'misnisatana. V'chiyamus min ha-behema, mixas behema mitama, mixas behema ina mitama. There's some animals that are tamei when they die, some are not. Vezazu, treifa shechata. It's a treifa that you shechted. So you see over here that anytime you shecht a treifa, it takes away the nevela. So what's the chiddush? No, what happened was this treifa happens to be chulin, and you brought it into the Beis Hamikdash. This anya, let's say you shecht something that you know for a fact is a treifa, or you shechted it and you found out later that it's a treifa. And they happen to be in the Beis Hamikdash where you're not allowed to shecht chulin. Rabbi Shimon matir b'hana v'chacham ma'aser. He says like this: since it's a treifa, the shchita did zero. If it's zero, then it's as if you didn't shecht it in the Beis Hamikdash. What if you take an animal, you bring it into the Beis Hamikdash, and you shoot it in the head? Is the meat also b'hana? No, because you killed it. You didn't shecht it. So too, if this animal is a treifa and you shecht it, that's like killing it and not shechting it because there's nothing to do with it. The shchita is not going to work. It's a treifa. Shchita doesn't help it. So since the shchita doesn't help it, it's considered you killed it. And it's not asur. It's not asur b'hana. Since Reb Shimon says you're allowed to benefit from it, so if you're allowed to benefit from it, it's not considered a shchita at all. It's if you killed it. So maybe if it's not a shchita at all, it doesn't have the power to remove tumah. Kamash malan, then nevertheless it removes the tumah. Omar le Rav Papa Labai b'sover Reb Shimon chulin ba'azor deraisi. So it's a question. This Isra Hana that we have when you shecht a regular animal, not a carbon, regular animal, you take an animal from your backyard, you shecht it in the Beis Hamikdash. You're not allowed to benefit from it. That Isra of benefiting, is it deraisa or derabbana? Does Reb Shimon hold that it's deraisa? Amalayin, yes, he does. Vatnan, and I'll prove it to you. Reb Shimon oimer chulin shenishchutu ba'azar yisar beish. He says that if it was shechted in the azara when it wasn't a carbon, you should burn it. So too, a wild animal that was shechted in the azara, you should burn it. Here, we have for this we have a video. Let's see if this works. Oh, Reb Zalman! Don't look at the video.
Reb Eli, is that you? I watch the Daf Yomi lesson every day. Wait here, please. I have a gift for you.
There's a chaya in the azara. I guess that was the only way they could figure out how you get a chaya in the azara. What are you supposed to do with it? You're supposed to burn it. Now the question is, why do you burn it? What's the point? If you tell me the whole Isser to shecht an animal in the Beis Hamikdash is deraisa and it's also bahana deraisa, yeah, it is the Isser deraisa. I mean that the Isser hana is deraisa, hanu de gazrin chaya atu behema. So now you have one gzera because the behema that you shecht in the Beis Hamikdash when you weren't supposed to is the deraisa. So I'm going to go from there one step and make that also to go to chaya. Eliyam's the rabbanon, but if the whole Isra hana is only the rabbanon, so what's the point of why did the rabbanon say that it's also bahana when you shecht an animal inside the Beis Hamikdash? Because maybe you're going to eat that animal, you're going to take a carbon and eat it outside of the Beis Hamikdash. So he goof gzera, banana nikoim, v'nigzuk gzera. So he says like this: a behema itself is one gzera. That you're not allowed to benefit from the behema's meat after you shecht it inside the Beis Hamikdash is not a deraisa, it's a rabbanon. So how's it possible? So that's gzera number one. Now, why would a chaya be aser? Because of this. He's going gzera to gzera. The whole behema is one gzera. Then you take that gzera and go to a chaya. That's gzera number two. That's a gzera because of gzera that we don't do. It makes no sense. Therefore, it has to be that this behema is not the rabbanon. This behema is a deraisa. And then I go one gzera from this behema to the chaya. So it's one gzera. Says the Gemara story, Yoniva bechitane. He had these moths that were eating up his clothes. Does anybody remember what you do when you have moths in the clothes? What does the Gemara say? No, you don't remember the Gemara's Eitzah? Blood. They hate blood. Take a bird, take a chicken, and shecht it right by where these moths are, by the water. Because the cotton is sitting there soaking in this water. Pour the blood on the water and they'll fly away. What's the problem, Rabbi Isai? You have to do kisi adam. When you shech the chicken, you have to do kisi adam. You're not allowed to deliberately put blood of a chicken in something. They'll smell the blood and they'll run away. So that's Gemara. How do they do it? If you shech and you need the blood, you have to cover it. You don't shech it. You cut it this way. You pull its simanim out. What he said is, you should first make it a treifa. Let's say break its wing or something, and then shecht it. He didn't say shecht it. What he meant to say is cut its simanim the wrong way. Do it in a way that's not a real shechita. So the man if he said to break its wing, why didn't he say just shecht it the wrong way? The reason is because there's no shechita for a bird. You don't have to shecht a bird, it's like a fish. So if you cut it the wrong way, it's still considered a shechita, midaraisa, so it wouldn't work and you have to do kisi adam. Vatanya, Rabbi Omer, kashes zivisicha. Here, Moshe Rabbeinu got a command from the Baruch Shalom to shecht one siman by a bird. So shechita is from the Torah. Says the Gemara. Before we continue, I just want to show you this video that Nachman did. He worked very hard on Tisha B'Av. He started Erev Tisha B'Av, and Yoshi made him finish it on Tisha B'Av. This is very much for Israelis. A lot of them go in with the Shemona B'Gadim. I'm not saying they go with the hat, but they go with him.
Bro, what's your problem? Get in.
Never. Not happening. It's full of worms.
You have to do kisi adam. It's very meduyak.
The guy in the car or the plane?
That's the plane. That the guy from the car. He's also a pilot. He's from the Medidas family. Very makbid in helping everybody do their Zog the Gemara. Certainly, if you cut the neck of the chicken the wrong way, it's not a shechita at all. I would say but if you first break its wing and then you shech it normally, so okay, you can't eat it, it's a treva, but it's considered a shechita and you require kisi adam. Okay, we'll stop over here. Have a wonderful day, and we should see the building of the Beis Hamikdash b'meheiro.
Merit the schus of spreading Torah throughout the world. Sponsor a shir today. MDYsponsor.com or sponsor at mdydaf.com.